Well, they're going to school. They're learning in school. So I don't have too much education myself. But they were going to school, and they all graduated, and they were learning everything as far as in school. But I always, when they were working, we're having summer jobs, I always make sure I always tell them to make sure you're supposed to start work at such and such a time, and make sure you go ahead of time. Get to your job site, a few minutes ahead of time. Don't, because I work with a lot of people that are always a few minutes late coming to work, and I never used to like that. I'm on a job a few minutes before I was supposed to start, and then I started working the time. I started working 7 o'clock in the morning, and there's guys just now coming in, or he hasn't come in yet. And I never used to like that too much, but I never said nothing when he come to it. I'm not the boss. I mean, it's up to them, whatever he wants to do. But that's what I try to teach my children, to be on time at work. Whatever you do the best of your ability to do the job. And that's one thing I try to teach and of course I always try to teach you to respect it. From one of my grandfather told me, respect yourself.
You were talking about language earlier on. How important is it that young people know their language?
How important?
How important is it? What are some of the things they'll benefit if they know their language?
They'll benefit to who they are, what they are. I have to remember Lakota nation was one of the powerfulest nation. Montana, Canada, and back and forth. And it's something they're losing their language. I used to sit around as old elders when I was a kid, and they used to have tea and sing. And they talked about old times. They were born, these people, old people were born in the 1860s. My grandfather was born that time, who raised me, and other people that their age, and they mentioned that a few times. They were always concerned. They were concerned about I think it carried from generation to generation, but it carried over to them, and they were talking about it. The United States government said one time, in the future, there'll be no Indians. There'll be no more Indians. They'll be all going to disappear. There'll be no more Indians. And they were always concerned about that. Are they going to clean us all up, shoot us all, or what did they mean? They didn't know what the United States, I don't know which government that was in power that said that. And in the future, there'll be no more Indians. And they're always concerned about that. They talked about that over and over, and they talked about it in Lakota. Lakota, Tuksha, Lakota kia, ahia henana pikte. Lakota wanichap lishni. In the future, there will be no Indians. And they were concerned about that. And if our children keep their language, they will be still Lakota. They lose it, there will be no more Lakota. And I was in South Dakota one time, and this lady was talking, and she was a teacher. And she said, that was just a couple of years ago, they did a survey, and they said anybody that's 50 years old and older were able to speak Lakota, their language, and listen, speak and understand. From 17 to 50, they can understand, but they can't talk. From 17 under, they haven't got a clue. So they're trying to bring something in the school where they can learn Lakota language. And when they graduate, how did she put it now? It'll be a credit. I think it was something like that. But they didn't have the funding or something, whatever. But that's what they're trying to do. I don't know if they ever got to it or not. No, I think it's very important that their children should learn, whether it's Lakota, Cree, Soto, whatever, keep their language, but it's pretty hard.
What needs to be done to ensure that?
Get something in school, teach them in school. Not only kids in school, older people, the parents got to know. So when the kids come home, you talk to them in Cree, Soto, Lakota, Dakota, I don't know what. They got to use that language at home, learning school. When they get home, use that language.